Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer this honestly, even if the answer makes you uncomfortable. How many times have you opened your trading app, stared at the charts, waited for something to happen, and nothing happened? No direction, no momentum, no clean opportunity. Just candles drifting sideways like they're wasting your time. And yet, somehow, those are the days you end up losing money. Not because the market crashed, and not because it exploded, but because it did absolutely nothing. Most traders tell themselves they lose money when the market is crazy, when volatility is high, when price is moving too fast. But that's not true. The majority of traders don't lose money during chaos. They lose money during boredom. They lose when the market is quiet, slow, choppy, and indecisive. They lose when the market does nothing and they feel like they must do something. This video is not about exciting moves. It's not about calling tops or bottoms. It's not about catching breakouts or riding trends. This is about a skill that almost nobody teaches because it doesn't sell well. A skill brokers don't want you to have. A skill that quietly separates traders who survive long enough to reach consistency from traders who blow account after account without understanding why. This episode is called Winning When the Market Does Absolutely Nothing. And if you master this, you will already be ahead of most people who think trading is about prediction. Here's the truth most trading content avoids. A market that's trending strongly in one direction is actually easier for most traders. Even a market that's collapsing violently can be simpler than people think. Fear is loud, but it's honest. Momentum leaves clues. But a sideways market lies to you in subtle ways. It doesn't scream danger. It whispers opportunity. It invites you in slowly. It convinces you that just one small trade won't hurt. Sideways markets are the most dangerous condition for retail traders. Not because they're unpredictable, but because they are deceptively predictable. Price moves just enough to trigger your greed and not enough to reward it. It shows you levels that look meaningful and then disrespects them without warning. It breaks structure just enough to make you enter, then snaps back the moment you commit. This is where overtrading is born. Not from panic, but from comfort. Not from fear, but from boredom. And here's something you probably haven't heard said out loud very often. Brokers love flat markets. They thrive when nothing happens, because they don't need price to move for them to make money. They need you to click. They need activity. They need frequency. Every buy, every sell, every stop loss, every tiny scalp you take out of frustration. The spread gets paid whether you win or lose. The commission gets charged whether price trends or ranges. The broker does not sit there hoping you catch a massive move. They sit there knowing that a bored trader is a reactive trader. Every time you open a position just to feel involved, the broker already won, before price even moves. That's why retail traders are subtly encouraged to believe that trading every day is a requirement. That sitting on your hands means missing out. That if you're not active, you're falling behind. But that belief alone has destroyed more accounts than bad strategy ever could. Real traders do not measure success by how often they trade. They measure success by the quality of the decisions they avoided making. One of the most powerful positions in the market is not long and not short. It's flat. Let me say that again, because it goes against everything most people are taught. Not trading is a position. And in dead markets, it's often the most profitable one. Sideways markets prey on something deeply human: our intolerance for idle time. We are wired to do, to act, to fix, to intervene. So when we sit in front of a chart and nothing happens, our brain starts inventing reasons to interfere. We zoom in. We lower time frames. We redraw levels. We see patterns that weren't there before. We convince ourselves that this consolidation is secretly accumulation or distribution or some hidden setup others are missing. But price is not hiding anything. Sometimes it's simply waiting. And the market doesn't care how uncomfortable that makes you. Flat markets distort risk perception. Because the candles are small, trades feel safe. Because price isn't going far, stops feel manageable. Because the range looks defined, entries feel justified. You tell yourself the downside is limited. What you don't see is the cumulative effect, the slow bleeding, the emotional erosion. One small loss doesn't matter, but 10 unnecessary trades drain more than just capital. They drain clarity. This is where discipline quietly dies, not in one catastrophic moment, but in a series of small justifications. Just one more setup, just one quick scalp, just one trade to make the waiting worthwhile. And that mindset is exactly what brokers profit from. Here's a hard truth many people don't want to hear. Most traders don't have a strategy problem. They have a patience problem. Their systems might work under specific conditions, but they refuse to wait for those conditions. They trade the market they wish they had, not the one in front of them. When you force trades in a dead market, you are no longer trading price. You are trading your emotions. You are trading frustration. You are trading boredom. And no indicator can save you from that. Now, listen carefully. There are people who genuinely make money in sideways markets. But they are not doing what beginners are doing. They are not guessing direction. They are not chasing micro breakouts. They are not reacting emotionally. There are only a few types of traders who consistently survive these conditions. Some traders specialize in ranges. They understand boundaries better than direction. They don't assume support will hold. They wait for proof. They don't assume resistance will reject. They watch for failure. They treat every edge like a battlefield, not a guarantee. Other traders extract volatility itself. They don't care where price is going. They care about how price behaves when it gets there. Compression, expansion, contraction, release. Their edge is in structure, not prediction. And then there are traders whose greatest edge is knowing when to disengage. Capital protectors. These traders don't feel the need to prove anything to the market. They understand that cash is a position, that survival is a strategy, that sometimes the smartest move is to do nothing and wait for conditions to shift. If you are not one of these traders yet, that's okay. But if you are not one of them, the worst thing you can do is pretend to be. The market is ruthless to people who overestimate their readiness. One of the biggest mistakes retail traders make is confusing ranges for weak trends. They look at sideways movement and convince themselves there's still an opportunity if they're just precise enough. But ranges are not small trends. They operate by different rules. In a trend, pullbacks are opportunities. In a range, pullbacks are traps. In a trend, momentum forgives bad timing. In a range, timing is everything, and even perfect timing can fail. Prices in ranges exist to test your discipline, to flirt with your entries and disrespect your conviction. Support in a range is not a buy signal. Resistance is not a sell signal. They are reaction zones. Areas where something might happen, not areas where something owes you an outcome. Most people lose money in ranges because they treat levels like promises instead of probabilities. When the market is quiet, my entire approach changes. I become more selective, not more active. I do not chase the middle of ranges. I do not trade compressed volatility without a clear plan for expansion. I do not lower my standards because I'm bored. And more often than most people would expect, I don't trade at all. Instead, I observe. I journal. I review previous trades. I note how price reacts without participating. And that habit alone has protected more capital than any entry technique ever could. Waiting is not passive. Waiting is a skill. It is active restraint. There is an edge in being able to sit still while others bleed. Sideways markets reward patience asymmetrically. Those who overtrade lose slowly and consistently. Those who wait lose nothing. And that difference compounds over time. Think about that. In dead markets, winners don't win money. They preserve it. And preservation is the foundation of growth. If you are trying to grow a small account, this matters more than anything else. You do not need excitement. You do not need action. You do not need to feel like a trader every day. You need longevity. You need emotional neutrality. You need to stay in the game long enough for real opportunities to appear. Flat markets are not obstacles. They are filters. They reveal who is disciplined and who is desperate. They expose whether you respect your capital or just want stimulation. Training yourself not to trade is part of becoming a professional. Set limits. Limit the number of trades you allow yourself in a week. Schedule time for chart study without execution. Reward yourself for restraint, not for clicks. Boredom is not a problem to be solved. It is part of the job description. And here's the final truth I want you to understand in this part of the series. The market does not owe you movement. And you do not owe the market a trade. If you can master yourself when nothing happens, you won't panic when something finally does. Because when the market wakes up, it rewards the patient first. When the market is silent, it becomes a mirror. It reflects your habits back at you. It shows you what you really believe about trading, money, and yourself. If you believe trading is about constant action, the silence will make you uncomfortable. If you believe trading is about control, the silence will frustrate you. If you believe trading is about discipline, the silence will strengthen you. Sideways markets are where this difference becomes painfully obvious. Let's talk about the slow mental erosion that happens when nothing moves. At first, you're patient. You tell yourself you're waiting for confirmation. You remind yourself of your rules. But as the hours pass and candles keep overlapping, doubt creeps in. You start questioning your edge. You wonder if you're being too cautious. You wonder if others are making money while you're sitting out. Flat markets manufacture those moments. Now here's something almost nobody tells beginners. You don't need to win in every market condition. You don't even need to participate in every market condition. You only need to dominate a few specific environments and survive the rest. Trading violates that belief completely. More trades do not mean more profit. More effort does not mean better outcomes. In sideways markets especially, effort is often punished. Let me be very clear here. Waiting is not laziness. Waiting is restraint. And restraint is a learned behavior. You don't wake up disciplined. You earn it by repeatedly choosing not to act when acting would feel good but be strategically foolish. That's why flat markets are such powerful teachers. They don't threaten you. They invite you. And whether you accept that invitation says everything about your maturity as a trader. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Many people say they want to grow a small account, but their behavior says they want entertainment. Growth is slow. It is boring. It is repetitive. It requires saying no far more than saying yes. Everything else is noise. The market will test you in silence before it rewards you in motion. It will see if you respect it enough to wait. If you do, you'll notice something strange. The anxiety fades. The urgency fades. Trading stops feeling like a chase and starts feeling like a response. And at that point, you are no longer fighting the market. You are listening to it. Remember this as you move through this series toward that first meaningful milestone. Growing an account is not about being brilliant during excitement. It's about being disciplined during boredom. If you can learn to win when the market does nothing, you are already winning in ways most people never will.